Everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Gardening and Crocs. I'm Doug the CrocGardener. Hey, it is finally springtime, which kind of puts I don't know, maybe a not so sad ending, but a sad ending to my winter garden. We're supposed to still get a freeze tonight. Our last frost date isn't for another week or two, so we still might do a couple things out there, but I figured today would be a good day for me to get my final wrap up of this whole experiment that I did. What I liked, what I didn't like, what went wrong, what went right, what am I gonna do next time again, what I'm not gonna do next time, and kind of covered the equipment and stuff that I used. So overall, I think the whole experience was a success. So if you guys haven't been keeping up on this and you're new to the channel, go check out my winter garden playlist. I started this way back probably October, November. What I ended up doing was I created a single hoop house and a single cold frame. Now the hoop house, you may just call that a low tunnel. I don't know what people call it in different areas. So I created two different devices to grow things in. I planted essentially turnips, carrots. I planted some spinach, which never turned out. I've had horrible luck with spinach. I've also planted some broccoli, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. I did that in both of those devices. I did that down in my basement. We just wanted to see how well things went out. I did monitor the temperatures with three little cool devices. I had one outside, one in the cold frame, and one in the hoop house. These things were called switch bots. Basically gave me some data. I could go out and look on my phone. I could see when things were getting too hot out there. I could see when things were getting too cold out there. When things got very, very cold, like we went through a cold snap where it did not get above like 20 degrees for like 5-7 days, something like that. I did use Christmas lights out there, incandescent Christmas lights. I just had a cord going all the way out to the garden, and that kept things pretty warm in both those structures. So overall, I think that things went very well. Yes, I will do this again. I will try different things again out there. It kept me going outside in the winter. It kept my my mind sharp. It really helped out my mental attitude this winter. So I had very minimal pests, very minimal watering that I had to do out there, very minimal work other than just going out there and checking on it, letting things just kind of grow. The cold did kill off like the first round of broccoli and Brussels sprouts that I had out there. So I'm learning a little bit with that. So I think I got a couple ideas of how I'm going to restructure this for the fall, and then again how I'm going to restructure it for the spring, and just kind of avoid that gap of January where it gets cold. I mean, it gets cold here, but sometimes it gets unusually cold for days upon days, a week, 2 weeks at a time, and that's just not sustainable to have that out there unless I plug in the Christmas lights and run up the electric bill. So we're gonna kind of stay away from that as well. Once in a while, that's gonna be okay. So what did go right? The hoop house, I was very impressed with that thing. That thing was pretty simple to put up, pretty cheap to put up, and it's very customizable. Took up a small footprint in the bed. Pretty much where I had the hoop house was the spots that I could plant in. So that worked out really well for me. I also could probably increase it in size. I did find out that the weather did not damage that at all. I mean, the wind, as long as I didn't have it real tall, I think the wind was not a factor at all. I had the clips out there that they held in place. Did a lot of good there. So that's going to be one of those things I will try again. Is going to be the hoop house. The turnips, in terms of crops, the turnips did very well. I think if I would have put matter of fact, the turnips went so well, I think I'd overcrowded a lot of other crops. If I would have just planted the turnips in a nice row and maybe put carrots in a different hoop house, I think I'd be in a lot better shape with the carrots. The carrots probably would have produced a little bit more. The spinach probably would have produced more if I would have just separated those out instead of cramming all that in that one area. I can definitely see how this is going to extend my growing season. I can see how we can get started a lot earlier and finish a lot later in both the seasons. So I think that will work out really well. What did go wrong? The broccoli and the cabbage didn't really survive the cold. So the Brussels sprouts, they were okay, I think, in there, but probably not the greatest of things for some of those temps. But what I did find out is if I can start those Brussels sprouts and broccoli and cabbage a little bit earlier in the season and have their maturity about December, that'd be ideal. And then what I can do is I can start them down here in the basement again and wait till February and put them back outside. And then I could have a jump start on an excellent garden. So I think those are the dates that I'm going to be planning for me. This is also kind of a little of a log for me as well, so I can look back and see what worked out well for this year and what my plans I can do for the following year. So what am I going to do again? I'm definitely going to do those hoop houses again. Those hoop houses worked out fantastic. Matter of fact, they worked out so well I put up 3 extra ones, so I had 4 of them total. The plastic was cheap on those. The rods were cheap. The rods seemed pretty flimsy when I first got it. I was like, how's this going to work out? And by the time you bend those rods over, they do stay up pretty well. Those clips are working pretty good, but I think I'm going to have to reorder clips about every year because I think that after the cold and the heat and stuff, I'm going to have some failure on the clips. But overall, I think that was a pretty good kit. I think that's going to work out pretty well for me. I am going to definitely plan a little bit better, like I just mentioned. I'm going to plan my fall garden so it goes a little bit later, so I can plan to have it. I could plan on having those brassicas go up until December, mid-December, and then I'm going to plan on starting mid-February with some of these other crops, brassicas again, and go out up until whenever I need them. Just kind of would be really good to have those cool weather crops and grow them when they're in cool weather, and then I can essentially take up those spots and use those use that spot in the summer instead of having those cool weather crops there in the summer. What I can do is I can use those in the I can use tomatoes or peppers or use those spots for something else in the summer and then plant again in the fall once those cool weather crops are done. So what am I not going to do again? So the cold frame was a cool idea. I did have that storm door just laying around. So what I probably will not do is I probably won't do that again because one, it took up a lot of space in the garden. I had bricks, those cinder blocks, and I put that storm door on top of there, and that took up a pretty good footprint. So that bed was a lot smaller than the other beds. So I'm probably not going to worry about doing that aspect of it again. The hoop houses they're just so simple, and I could just construct as many as I want, put them as long as I want, where I want, and I feel like I get a lot more space out of those guys. And also that cold frame, it did take a lot extra time to put up. It took a little bit of thinking up here to see what I had around the house and not spend a whole lot of money on it. So if I had one that was built just permanent for that in one location, I'd probably think about just keeping it out there and using that from time to time. But I simply just don't. Well, I have the space. I just don't want to mess with that right now. So maybe in the future, if I do some expansions, I might do that in the future again. We'll hold on that storm door, or I'll hold on those cinder blocks. Those things are like gold. I'll probably make a raised bed out of them for now. So. What did I learn? I learned that, man, those things are little greenhouses, and those things can produce some heat. If it got up to 70, it was guaranteed to be upper 90s in those greenhouses. Got up to 60, it was definitely in the 80s. I mean, we're talking that sun's out, it's going to produce some heat in there. So I learned that I can extend my harvest on both sides of my growing window. So if my growing window used to be April 18th all the way up to my last frost stage, which was about October 18th. Now think about it. I'm thinking about doing this February 15th all the way to December 15th. That's pretty impressive. I mean, that's adding a lot of months to my garden. Yes, granted, I'm not going to be able to grow my tomatoes or peppers in these kind of environments, but I can do some pretty cool things. So it was a great learning experience for me. I did also learn how resilient those hoop houses are. Man, we went through some major storms the last couple weeks, and they are still standing. So we're looking very good with those hoop houses. I really, really like them. I think that low profile really makes a big difference with those. I also learned that if you're going to do this, just don't think that the hoop house is just another place like an indoor spot. You still should harden off those plants if you're growing them down in your basement or in your grow room. You should be, when you take them outside, baby them for a little bit, harden them off. Yes, if you're going to do that, it's going to take some warmer weather to harden them off, or at least get a fan to start blowing on them. But you just don't want to take them straight from your cozy area all the way to the out in the cold like that. That's gonna really harsh their mellow a little bit. So we definitely don't want to be doing that. All in all, I believe this was a good experiment. I am going to be experimenting still a little bit. You guys will see some of those videos, but if you guys are questioning on yourself on whether you should do this or not, I just challenge you. Go out to Amazon, to that site where I got those $20 for the rods and the clips, and then go to Menards or one of your big box stores and just buy some little bit thicker clear plastic, and just make a hoop house. Get yourself a little cheap packet of seeds. These are bean seeds, but get yourself a cheap packet of turnips. I really recommend the turnips. I like the turnips. I know Chad doesn't like his turnips, but I really like the turnips. So if you guys can go out there and just do something cheap, just experiment. If you lose, what are you going to be out of? That 20 bucks? That 20, 30 bucks or whatever it costs you? To me, that's well worth all the knowledge that you can gain from doing this. Definitely try this again. I challenge everybody, extend your growing seasons. Definitely try this. If you guys want to see how my summertime garden is going to be going, you guys click that subscribe button down below. Give me this couple thumbs up. Let's have a conversation. Are you guys excited about this this season change? Ready for spring? Ready for summer to be here? I know I am. Cheers, everybody. God bless.